There's a story full of mystery, big dreams, and surprises under bright lights where everyone usually only sees what's on the outside. Melania Trump, who began living in a small Slovenian town and rose to the White House, is known to many as stylish and dramatic. Today, we will explore parts of her life that not many people know about, from her school days when she was a hardworking student to the time she stood out on the world's stage. Also, the secret successes and tough times of the former First Lady. Let's find out.
I want to also thank my beautiful wife, Melania, First Lady.
Her early life in Slovenia, Melania Trump, whose full name is Melania Navs, was born on April 26, 1970s, in Novo Mesto, a part of Yugoslavia. She grew up in the riverine town of Savnica, and she was never experienced to the luxurious and busy lifestyle. Her father, Victor Navs, was an entrepreneur who owned car and motorcycle dealerships, and her mother, Amalia, earned her living as a fashion designer for a factory. Perhaps the exposure she received at her young age fueled her passion for fashion and design. Melania, as a young girl, was a determined student and had an interest in arts at tender age. So she started at the University of Ljubljana, majoring in architecture and design. Nevertheless, the course altered to modeling at 16 years old. Her schooling in design helping her in how she appreciated beauty and neatness, something that would be seen in her White House efforts as the American First Lady. But her modeling dream was also pursued due to her beauty and good fashion sense. From modeling to the Big Apple, Melania developed her own fashion and modeling preferences after becoming a successful model in Europe as a teenager. She then attracted the attention of industry professionals, which allowed her to enter the global arena. By her early 20s, Melania had a dream, and these targets took her to Milan and Paris. The city is alive with energy and zeal. Here, she employed some of the famous faces in the fashion world, appearing photosynthesized and prestigious campaigns, revealing her beauty and modesty. The natural next step in her meteoric rise took her across the ocean to the United States, where she landed in the fashion capital of the world, New York City. Melania, being brought in the late 1990s, embraced the new environments and severities of the New York City lifestyle. Her adaptability was put to the test while she navigated this romantic city because the stakes and skyscrapers were higher than anything she had ever encountered. In New York, the success of Melania's career further stepped out. She modeled for fashion shows and became a model in a number of advertising campaigns. Models wanted her because of her unique features and the way she posed for the photographers, which earned her contracts with famous fashion companies and fashion magazines. Ever a rising star, each runway show and each photo shoot elevated her status as a model that worked in international territories that were a leap from her heritage. Melania, a talented model, dreamed and acted out her modeling career in New York, which changed drastically in September 1998 when she met Donald Trump at a Fashion Week party. They fell in love after meeting, which caused Melania to enter a new stage of her life and gain even more exposure to big fame. The engagement ceremony was held in 2004 and was lavish with a dignified flair because both partners are well known. Donald Trump offered her a stunning 50-carat diamond engagement ring to underline the luxury that the couple would gorge themselves in. They were married in 2005, and their union was celebrated in the lavish ceremony at Donald's Mar-a-Lago Estates in Palm Beach, California. Constantly, the wedding gown of Melania was stunning. It was made by John Galliano for Christian Dior. It was puffy and had embroideries which made the occasion glamorous. Donald Trump's lady abruptly changed her identity, which required Melania to undergo numerous significant changes as her life was made public. Changing for the new role meant how to safely express her private self. At the same time, struggling to meet the sorts of expectations expected of her as a member of Donald Trump's entourage. It was a challenge that she addressed, as always, with grace and dignity. This change was an uncomfortable shift from her glamorous life as a model to the woman at the center of an important American family. Melania Trump faced several controversies throughout her time as First Lady. One of the most notable incidents occurred during the 2016 Republican National Convention when parts of her speech were nearly identical to Michelle Obama's 2008 speech.
Parents impressed on me the values that you work hard for what you want in life.
This sparked widespread accusations of plagiarism and criticism about the speech legitimacy. In response, Melania's teams released strong statements downplaying the issue, suggesting it was just coincidence based on shared values. Although the controversy faded over time, it highlighted the steep learning curve Melania faced while adapting to the public scrutiny of her new role. Another major controversy surrounded Melania's Be Best campaign, launched in 2018 to address children's well-being, cyberbullying, and opioid abuse. While the campaign aimed to tackle important issues, it drew criticism for perceived hypocrisy. Many pointed out the irony of promoting online kindness while Donald Trump often used social media to attack opponents. Despite the backlash, Melania defended her efforts, stating she was aware of the criticism but remained committed to her cause. Critics also argued that the campaign lacked clear outcome or measurable success. Although Be Best received public attention, many felt it focused more on branding than producing concrete results. Melania continued to promote the industry throughout her tenure, participating in events and speeches, but the campaign struggled to make a lasting impact. In the end, Melania's controversies reflected the challenges of balancing her role as First Lady with the expectation placed upon her. Her low-profile approach and private personality often made her appear distant, adding to the public's mixed perceptions of her legacy. Despite facing criticism, Melania maintained her focus on cause she believed in, even as questions remained about the effectiveness of her efforts. Melania Trump's journey to becoming First Lady was surprising and unique. She was born in a small town in Slovenia in 1970s. Far from the world of American politics, growing up, she lived a simple life with her family, focusing on school, creativity, and hard work. After finishing her studies, Melania began a modeling career that took her across Europe and eventually to New York City, where she found success in fashion industry. Her life changed when she met Donald Trump at fashion events in 1998. Melania's quiet and calm personality was very different from Donald's bold and outgoing style, but the two connected. They got married in 2005, and Melania stayed out of the spotlights while Donald built his career in business and entertainment. When Donald Trump decided to run for president in 2015, Melania was suddenly in public eye. People were curious about her, as she had not been involved in politics before. Her quiet, reserved nature stood out, and many wonder how she would handle such a big role. When Donald Trump won the election in 2016, Melania made history as the first lady born outside the United States since the 1820s and the first to become naturalized U.S. citizen. Her journey from a small town in Slovenia to the White House was unexpected and unlike any other First Lady before her. Melania's background, calm personality, and unique life story made her role as First Lady very different and memorable. Why Melania is so different from other First Ladies? After leaving the White House, Melania Trump has stayed out of the spotlights for most parts. She had made a few public appearances, often connected to the causes she cared about as First Lady, like helping children and their education. She is also involved in some charity work, but she keeps much of her life private now. Melania stood out from other First Ladies due to her quiet and private approach to the role. Unlike predecessors like Michelle Obama or Hillary Clinton, who had careers in law and public service, Melania's background in fashion gave her a unique perspective. She also brought cultural diversity as Slovenian-born immigrants, adding an international dimension to her role. Instead of giving many public speeches, she often used her fashion choices to make statements. Her understated yet elegant style and focus on selective causes made her one of the most distinct First Ladies in modern history. We've learned a lot about Melania Trump, her work as First Lady, her style, and her life after the White House. Her story makes us think about what it means to be a First Lady and how people remember them. What do you think about Melania's time as First Lady? Let us know in the comments. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and come back for more interesting stories about important people and events.